Hello, welcome to Valkyries interviews with the fabulous. Do I remember which way to point? I do. Melissa Olthoff, yay! Melissa also has a secret to tell you all at the end of the interview about Valkyries, so we'll get to that. We're gonna jump in the meantime. Yeah, that's right. It's secret just for you guys and me because I know, obviously. I get to know all the things. So in this series of interviews, we are talking to all of the fabulous Valkyries authors for the very first Hit World Valkyries anthology coming to you this summer. We've got some questions, and Melissa is an overachiever as always, and she submitted them both ahead of time and is going to answer them on the spot. But that means we can compare answers and see how she does.
Crap.
Yes. I will
put try not to look up. I've got my second screen up there with the answers. Like, ooh, if I get stuck.
I'm just gonna scroll them along the bottom and post like, oh, but she actually no, I won't do that. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have so much fun, you guys. Melissa is a delight. So if you all have not had a chance to meet her yet, you're welcome. And if you had, also, you're welcome because this will be fun times. Ready? Okay, here we go. Melissa, what do you write and why do you write it?
Oh, I love sci-fi and fantasy. I've been a huge fan since I was a kid. And as I have grown older, I absolutely prefer it with a strong dash of romance because it's more fun that way.
All the feelings. You love
yes,
the feelings.
All the feels and the heat and the angst. All the angst.
The heat is the fun. It's pretty fun.
It's delightful.
I have to say. Melissa has been sending me excerpts. I'm going to miss them. So every week I get a little excerpt of the shenanigans her characters get into. But again, secrets. Okay. What do you want people to know about your stories?
Character development is the biggest thing for me. You could have the best plot in the world, but if your characters are boring or flat, I don't care. So when I write, I try and keep my characters' voices in my head, which is actually really easy to do because they kind of live there rent-free. I try and get the witty banter, the emotional aspect, and more importantly, just I want to make you fall in love with my characters. So when I'm finally done writing the story, you're like, but we want more. And I am happy to do that.
I think Melissa has a minimum order of 3 stories per storyline, right? Trilogies as you go.
Yes, that is apparently the rule in Savage Title Universe that I didn't know before the Steversons invited me to write there. And I'm now on the hook for like 2 different trilogies, possibly a third.
A trilogy of trilogies, and that's how you get your baseline done, clearly, right? Welcome to CKP.
It's an awful problem to have, really. It's the worst.
So hard. Especially, so Melissa's characters do like jump off the page. Like you were like, oh yeah, this is a real person wearing demon armor. Who knows? But this is a real person / space hyena / whatever it might be. Secrets. And when they're I see why they live in your brain because they're so well thought through. So you can't have just one story of them.
Oh no. And they don't shut up. They really don't.
Right? They're just gonna mutter at you for months.
It's amazing and it's awful because sometimes I'm like, oh, I've got this amazing like dialogue in my head, and then my kids start talking. And I'm like, I had it, I lost it. It'll come back though. It's fine.
Well, usually, almost always they come back. And when they don't, you're like, it was perfect. It was
maybe a little different, but
it was Nobel Prize winning and then gone forever.
Because children.
I mean, right. Little asterisk. Could have been better, but no, it's still great. It's still wonderful. What is a book? So very unfair question I find is what's your favorite book? So I don't ask that, but I am going to ask, what is a book you love to recommend or one that you're just super into right now?
So what I am super into, and oh my God, I cannot recommend this enough, is Annette Marie. She is an indie author and she is fabulous. I love everything that she has ever done. Right now, her Guild Codex is just, it's intertwined stories and it is, it's amazing. She's also a really good artist. So she'll like throw up little, snippets and graphics. She's got a webtoon now. She is just taking off and I love her to death.
That's awesome. What is Guild Codex about? Sounds good.
So it's urban fantasy, which is totally my jam. So it's
right now.
It's urban fantasy, hidden world, and it's all about, like, the first storyline is all about this like spunky bartender who starts working for this guild of magic users. Only, oops, she's human. Had no idea what she was getting into. And it's just awesome. I love it. I love seeing a character that has zero magical ability still manage to kick ass, but in the right way, not in that strong female character way that we all hate, but in the, you know, just doesn't give up, doesn't quit, and tries and tries and tries and tries until she actually gets it right. So
multi-dimensional
character development. It is whew.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. So speaking of urban fantasy, a little bit hidden world and hit world, which one of our other authors, Rob Howell, recently deemed genre gumbo, which I love. Just a little bit of everything. So it's a little bit urban fantasy, a little bit noir, a little bit, who knows, could be anything. So in hit world, everyone has a knack or a talent that just might be magical. What's yours?
Mine would be my awesome super ability to find things that my family has lost. I can't find this. Well, you put it there. I can't find this. Your shoes are by the front door where you left them, child. So, it is my superpower.
That's a great superpower. So you could be like a PI in Hit World.
Yes.
Good. Just hunt down all the missing people. I like it. All right, speed round. That can be as speedy or not as you choose. Ready?
Ready.
What's your theme song?
I don't have one. but my character's theme song is absolutely Rise by Katy Perry.
Nice. What is your go-to game night choice?
Exploding Kittens. It's like Russian roulette with cards and exploding kittens.
Nice. That's the guy who does the oatmeal, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I've only played it once, so it's super fun. What sitcom would you star in? Either an existing sitcom that you would put yourself in or the sitcom of your life.
Ooh, if it was an existing one, I'd have to go with Big Bang Theory because it's one of my all-time favorites.
Nice.
If it was a made-up one, it'd probably be the Chair Force because I was in the Air Force, but I wasn't, a pilot or anything, or at least not for more than a hot minute. So I was on the Chair Force side of things where it was more paperwork than fighting.
Nice. I think you could make some fun storylines out of that one from some stories that I have heard. What is a little bit. What is or are your favorite treats?
Oh my God, cookies and mocha. I have learned to differentiate that I do not mean coffee. I mean caffeinated chocolate milk mochas.
Got it.
Ice.
Yep. I will co-sign this because I got to hang out with Melissa as my con wife at a recent convention. And I would say every other conversation we had was about like, hey, do you want coffee? We should get coffee. Let's get coffee. And it was always mochas. And I was delighted every single time. It was wonderful. So good.
I have an addiction. It's okay.
Right. But also it's delightful because then you're cheerful when you know it's coming. You're cheerful when you're drinking it. And you're cheerful when you finished it because you're looking forward to your next one.
It's pretty great. Problem.
Shh. No, we're all only enablers here. That's fine.
Yes.
That's what we do for each other. Team beach or team mountains?
I'm going to embrace the power of and.
Yeah. Both
beaches and mountains. Yeah. I love them both.
I mean, right. Yep. So I feel like one of us gets a house in one place, one of us gets a house in the other, and we'll just, right?
And we can have writer retreats where we find somebody else to watch my children, Dan.
Yes. Yeah.
Write and hang out. That'd be great.
Brilliant. I love it. Favorite pizza toppings?
Ooh, bacon.
Nice.
Onion, mushroom, bell pepper, but bacon. Ooh, it's the best one.
Nice. Bacon or the Canadian bacon that a lot of pizza places do?
No, real bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, I'm with you.
Real bacon.
Okay.
Yeah. No turkey bacon.
No. Like I would ask for ham if I wanted ham or turkey if I wanted turkey. I want bacon. It's very Ron Swanson of us. I like it. I think when you heard me say all the bacon, you're not going to do that. Give me some bacon. Anyway, what fictional character would you choose as a mentor?
I would have to go with Sam Carter from Stargate. I loved her. She was geeky. She was smart, but she still kicked ass. I loved her so much. And she's probably one of the reasons I watched every episode of Stargate twice.
Oh man, I just so watched it all once because I missed it when it first came out, even though my dad loved it. And then back when I started watching it was when Netflix sent you DVDs, so we would only get a couple episodes at a time, and I think all 10 seasons were out at the time, so we watched it for years, like years. And now it's on Netflix, so I just started watching it again because it's like boop boop boop, so easy.
I started watching it again, and I'm like, dang, I'm so glad the show got better because those first couple episodes are rough. With the military stuff, they got better. They got better.
Yes. Yeah. They brought in advisors, right? Like they brought in actual people. Yeah.
It helped so much. I'm like, oh no, we don't salute indoors. Please stop.
You're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. I hate everything. Oh,
Killing
that's
me.
good. The humanity. Are you a morning or a night person?
Absolutely a night person, which makes it really rough when I have to get up early for work or kids or dogs. But I like last night I was up till 1:30 because I'm like, I just don't want to go to bed. I just don't. It's fine. I'll be tired.
Yeah. I'm with you. Same. I was up till a little after 1 and then I woke up at 4 and I was like, why? Nobody literally honey. Nobody wants this. I know. Lame. I fell back asleep through the whole day off. It's fine. How would you, we're going to talk about her Valkyrie now. Get ready, y'all. It's going to be amazing. How would you introduce your Valkyrie?
So Athena is my Valkyrie. She is what is known as a Kidamonis, a guardian. And she's got some very interesting magical abilities and also a whole lot of rage over the spoilers. She's just got a lot of anger. We're going to leave it at that.
Justified anger.
Yeah, but she also has a sort of family duty that pulls at her. And it kind of requires her to work with somebody that she absolutely hates. But it helps that he's hot because this is, in case you did not know, an enemies to lovers type urban fantasy romance story. Which I love.
So much fun. 3 words to describe her.
Anger management issues.
That's pretty spot on. That's fantastic. So good. Oh, I love it. That's good. That was a perfect answer. So what inspired the development of either her or your storyline plot or both?
So I joked with what I sent you and I just kind of banged my head on the keyboard until the ideas fell out. Because I've recognized that I have a process. When I get the awesome opportunity to write in somebody else's universe, my initial impulse is to panic. Like full up, oh my God, no ideas, stupid brain, what am I going to do? So then I'll read the books if I haven't read them already. And I will low key like just stress about this in the back of my head for like weeks, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe a month going, oh, what am I going to do that would justify me being included in this? And my subconscious kind of works on it for me. So it helps. And I'm like, ooh, I have an idea. And then I work on it for a bit and I'm like, okay, all right. So with Hit World, I totally panicked at first because I'm like, this is an awesome universe, but it is straight up like legal assassinations, shooters, killing people. Everything's legal if they're above 18. And I'm like, I can't write a character that could, oh God. And then I actually read the book and I'm like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can do this with a character that maybe doesn't want to be a shooter. And circumstances kind of necessitate that. So I came up with the story idea of how to maneuver my character into that situation, along with rage and a hot shooter as a partner. And I kind of worked on it from there. But it really was a lot of fun. Bill Webb has created what is essentially a no holds barred urban fantasy universe against the background of legal assassinations. It's amazing. It's just like this massive playground. So it gave me a lot of room to work around in.
That's super fun. And Larry Hoy. So it's Bill Webb and Larry Hoy.
Yeah, sorry, Larry. Donuts.
Yeah. Donuts Hoy.
Side donuts. Ask us why later.
Pretty great. Yeah. You should definitely, if you see any of us at a convention, especially Larry, you should ask where that came from. But I agree. It's such a fun universe. I love urban fantasy where everything is on the table, and you really get to think through, like, how would the people in this world navigate it? Because it's not just like, oh yeah, everything's everything. Cool. I'm going to live my life. Like, people get murdered and there are repercussions. Like, that's a thing. Anyway, super interesting.
Oh, yes.
Also, there are weird fishmen from other dimensions. I mean, everything.
Orange rhinos and random tears in the fabric of the universe. It's really cool.
People punching through and not people punching through. It's fine. Amazing. What actor or actors would be perfect to play one or some of your characters?
So I can't remember how to say her last name, but it's Alicia from the new Tomb Raider movie.
Oh yeah,
like, she just has like she's exactly what I picture in my head for Athena.
Nice.
And I only saw like maybe 10 minutes of the new Tomb Raider because I was on an airplane, but I'm like, that chick could totally pull off Athena. She could.
Nice.
For Sebastian, it would either be Jensen Ackles because I'm totally watching Supernatural because of you.
Yes.
Or Charlie Hunnam because he's just
nice.
Amazing. But it would definitely have to be, for Sebastian, it would have to be an actor that knows what he's doing with firearms and, have, a decent background and training to pull that off, I think.
Yeah. I will say, so Supernatural is also a show that we came to very late. My husband and I started watching it the year it ended. But thanks Netflix and our current times, we had plenty of time to catch up. So we watched 15 seasons and then I did nothing but talk about it. So Melissa's like, all right, but is it scary though? And I was like, no, well, maybe, sort of, sometimes, but no. No, but then she watched the first episode. No, it was the second one, right? It was the Wendigo.
The Wendigo.
Home alone with her dogs acting weirdly. And she's texted me
in
like,
a thunderstorm.
She's like, if I get eaten by a GD monster, this is on you. I think,
all your fault. I watched an episode last night and I'm like, I know that actress. It was like Root from Person of Interest, only like very young one. I'm like, oh my God, I know her. She's amazing.
I know her. A super fun thing.
Athena too.
She totally could.
Oh, yes.
A really fun thing about Supernatural is so many people, especially so many genre actors and actresses, I think got their start or like near start on Supernatural. And so as you watch, you're like, wait, I know that guy. Wait, I know that girl. Like, what's going on here?
With 15 seasons, there's a lot of room in there.
There's a lot of years and a lot of stuff and a lot of good storylines. But having read the story, which I have read the story, guys, I would say yes. Both of those actors, all three are great for that. And Jensen Ackles as Sebastian would be a win for everyone, we'll just say.
Yes, let's go with that.
Yes. Net positive is what we're saying here. So you said a little bit about your favorite thing about Hit World. But what is your favorite thing about Hit World, Valkyries, badass ladies in general, or all of the above?
Oh, so Valkyries, I think, is going to be so much fun to play with because Hit World, I've read the first 3 books, I want to say, before I ran out of time and had to actually start writing mine. But it seemed to focus more on the shooters and less on the magical aspects of the world. It's definitely there, but it's more of a bit of a background as opposed to Valkyries, which is just going to put the spotlight on. They call it Cabal. I kind of interchange magic and Cabal because, just not to overuse it, but I think it's going to put a spotlight on the magical side of the world and all of the crazy stuff our characters can get up into. But without, like I said before, without kind of crossing over into that strong female character territory that we all just absolutely despise. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think readers are going to enjoy it, especially because my character messes up a lot.
Which is so fun. They're not perfect.
No. And if they are, I don't want to read it or watch it.
No. What's the point? If the character is perfect, we're going to learn nothing. We're going to experience nothing. They're just going to be perfect through the whole thing. We were at a recent convention, Fantasy in North Carolina. You should totally check it out. We had this really fun panel about the woman warrior, basically. And on the panel, there was me, not a warrior. And then we had some women who have experienced this from various ways. So chair force or not, we've got armed services over there with Melissa. We had a former LEI, LEO. LEI is Lifewinders. She was not a contract killer, guys.
Wait, you did not tell me that when I was sitting on that panel, girl.
Cool. Sorry, FBI agents. She's not a licensed killer as far as we know. LEO. She was law enforcement.
Which she tells us.
And then we had an author and woman who has lived through some conflict in the world. And then we had a token dude, boy Casey Moores, who's also in the Air Force. Right. He's fine. He was standing in for girl Casey, who was out of the country. He was great on his own. Anyway, we talked about many of the tropes that we dislike when it comes to strong female characters. When that's their right, like period in between each word, like that, and that is the extent of their character, right? That's all they are. They're a cardboard lady of I'm tough, therefore I'm the best, and I'm also perfect. Go.
And everything we hate about what they call the toxic male character, where they're arrogant, they're rude, they don't listen to anybody. It's like, well, no, it's just boring and irritating.
Yeah, that's not the equality we're looking for. Like, that's lame. We can do better. But Melissa, you said some really cool stuff about what you look for in like an actual fun, you enjoy, badass female character. Do you want to? I didn't give her this question in advance, but I know she's talked about it before, so just throw it out there.
So I honestly don't remember exactly what I said. I was totally hopped up on caffeine.
It was brilliant.
It was wonderful. Yeah. I remember some of the things I didn't like, which was, the free flowing hair everywhere, which is super annoying. I loved Black Widow's character progression throughout the MCU, though. How she went from like the long curly hair down and the super tight clothes to just being this badass with her hair tightly braided back because she was an actual warrior and she was taken seriously. So I loved her character progression. I love it when, whatever the woman is, whatever her talents are, it's paired with realistic weaknesses. Like, okay, maybe like, my Salvage Universe character, Kaylee, the Salvage Bunny, which somehow became my nicknames. I'm now, by the way, the Salvage Bunny.
This is how call signs happen, y'all. This is what we learned.
This is great. So she's very much like a super language geek. Like she's kind of like if you took Dr. Daniel Jackson from Stargate and paired her with Evie from The Mummy, and you kind of have Kaylee, where she is just amazing at translating this dead language that is super lucrative as far as finding interesting stuff they left behind.
Sure.
But she's not really a fighter. And she recognizes that, okay, I need to step up and everything, but she doesn't walk in pretending that she can fight or that she has the best ideas or anything like that. So I like it when those female characters are more realistic, like whether they're a fighter, but they're not the smartest, or, it's just whatever. Just stop giving me characters that are just the best at everything.
One-dimensional is boring. Yeah. Equally true for women and men and any non-binary thing in between. If you are non-binary being in between, if you are one-dimensional, nobody who wants to read that. Nobody. You want to see your characters develop. And what's really fun about Melissa's story is you see Athena develop even in the short story, right? It's less than 10,000 words, and there is real development happening for her.
I'm laughing because I just squeaked under that 10,000 word limit.
You did. But unlike some authors in this anthology, you did squeak under the deadline. The deadline, but also the word count. We are all special, us authors, and do what we want. We do what we want. But so not only do you see development in that short story, but also secretly, Melissa has recently hit a big milestone that I don't know if maybe you want to share here and get people just really excited.
Well, so I have been sending Marisa snippets, usually on Fridays, because it's fun. Like going, hey, I'm really happy about what I just wrote. Let me share it with you. And you can tell me if it's dumb or awesome or anywhere in between.
Always awesome.
And then so what was it? Saturday. I messaged her. I'm like, "Are you ready for a really long snippet? It's huge, super long. Are you sure you have the time to read it?" She's like, "Yes, send it." I'm like, "The end."
The end on what, Melissa? What is it the end on?
It is the end of Athena's full up follow-on story, which as of right now has no title because I suck.
That's, you know what, titles will come. We'll get there.
Worst. They are the worst. Everything I've come up with is already taken by somebody way more famous than me. So I will figure it out. Or Marisa will read it and she'll tell me what I should call it. So
yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a line in there. I haven't seen it yet, but so the first Valkyries novel is already in the can, just waiting edits. So you guys, yeah, seriously, when we talk about Valkyries and how much fun we're going to have, there's going to be the anthology. You're going to get a couple of solo novels. You're going to get some team up novels. It's going to be fun. And I'm the only one who's read all of the stories because I am the editor and very fancy. That's right. I'm so fancy. Also, it's important that I read them because the editor. But regardless, selfishly, it's amazing. And these ladies, like, I cannot wait to get these talented authors and these ridiculously amazing characters in the same room or on the same mission or even just like on the same channel in their ear. Like the shenanigans that we have ahead of us is going to be so much fun. And several of them have these token dudes who aren't token. They're also fully realized characters in their own right. None of them have anything in common. And so getting some of those in the same room too
it's going to be wonderful.
So great. It's going to be so great. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait. Okay. What should I have asked you about that I didn't?
Oh, that's really hard.
Maybe other published books that people should check out.
I suppose. Okay, so I actually just had my first novel published back in February. It's Sunrise Over Shippo. It is my first Salvage Title Universe novel, and it follows the adventures of Kaylee, the Salvage Bunny. I am working on Salvage Bunny 2. Know that that's not the title, but you know what? That's just
totally the title.
It's totally what we're calling it for now.
Bunnies Over Shippo.
I have the trilogy planned out. Nick Steverson is like amazing. We sat and we just BS'd for like 2 hours at Fantasy, and we kind of worked out plans for both my trilogy, talked a little bit about his. Consequences just came out, and it is fabulous. I got to read it second. His dad got to read it first, but you know.
Yeah. You got to brag about these things, though. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's amazing.
There are dragons in that one, y'all.
Space dragons and a samurai sidekick. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Pretty great. Pretty great, yeah.
So we decided, though, that the world needed us to team up because clearly there were not enough shenanigans going on in Salvage yet. So Nick and I have a trilogy planned out with Space Hyenas. Because why not?
Why wouldn't you? Absolutely.
There will be zero seriousness to this trilogy. It's just going to be all hijinks and craziness and treasure hunting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to diving into that this year, and of course my Valkyries novel. So I've got a lot going on, but somebody decided to terrify me by asking me to write in the Four Horsemen universe. Marisa,
what? It
is so scary, but I have ideas. So we're gonna do a Depic companion novel, and it's gonna be so much fun. And I promise I will hold off on the romance. I promised Nick I'd hold off on the romance with our hyena stuff too, but there will probably be stuff snuck in there.
To be fair,
because I literally can't help myself.
Yeah, the 4HU has a little bit of romance going on over there. I mean,
I'll keep it subtle.
Yeah. Some commanders have gotten pregnant, and that doesn't just like happen out of nowhere, even in the 4HU.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Some commanders are getting married, potentially. I don't know, maybe. I mean, they're definitely in long-term relationships, so.
I like it.
Those aren't even the ones written by the ladies. So there are some readers who are like, well, the ladies are doing this. Nope, some of it's coming from other places because it turns out dudes like feelings too. You guys have them, so congrats. I know.
No.
That's right, right? Like, come on, man. It's fun. Anyway,
More
what question?
realistic.
Your whole people. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just like our strong female characters, our strong dudes get to be whole people too. We love that for them. So, Melissa, what question or questions do you have for me?
How is Bryn's story coming? Because I am so excited for Bryn. Because I'm really hoping that I got her character right in the beginning of my story. So I need to read your story. I can't wait.
Soon. So, folks, in April we had some shenanigans over here. I, since college, have this streak of random computer issues that are real, but like they don't happen to other people. And I remember there were like 3 separate times in college something happened, and some computer science major would come look at my computer and be like, I don't even know how it's possible that this is happening. And if you describe this to me, I wouldn't believe it were happening, but because I can see it with my own eyeballs, like, so anyway, that happened. I lost every word I wrote in April. It was one of the most upsetting writing extravaganzas of my time. But it turns out, I didn't, but there's a lot of cursing, and sulking. I sulked for like 3 days, and then I put on my big girl pants and I got back to work, as we do. So Bryn Sigmund is going to be the head of the Valkyries initiative. And in this story is when she finds out about that fact. And she, by default, is snarky and over it. Like, just tired of shenanigans, just wants to do her job, but she keeps getting pulled into the other things. She's like, what the F? So it turns out my being frustrated about rewriting her story is really working out for her voice. Because she's like, no
respect.
No respect. So Bryn, I think I discovered the second round of writing her story. So Bryn has been in recruitment for LEI, Life Enders International, for about 20 years or more. So she can handle a gun. She can take care of herself, but she's recruitment. She's not field ops. And she gets shoved into some field ops. And she does not approve of this. And so she composes memos to her boss's boss in her head when stuff is just really frustrating. And her sign off on the first one was no respect. There was that makes me so happy, because I immediately had to send. So now that I'm not getting snippets from Melissa anymore, I have to start sending her snippets.
Oh, the snippets!
Right, that feels important. So I sent her this imaginary memo that Bryn wrote in her head. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
It was just comedy gold. I'm like sitting at my day job laptop just crying.
I'm so glad you liked it, because it's one of those I wrote that I was like, this is either hilarious or real dumb, and I don't know where on that line.
Keep that up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful.
Thank you. Amazing. But yeah, sign off. No respect. Bryn. There was some cursing. There was a request for bazookas. The letter had everything. It was, very sure.
Bryn might get to play with some cool toys in the beginning of mine.
Good. That's all she ever wants. Good grenade. You know what? She's like Dean in that way. Like, we've got a grenade launcher. Why aren't we using a grenade launcher?
It's actually a grenade launcher.
Yes! I'm sure you wrote her well then, because that's all she wants. Just give her the grenade launcher and she's going to be good.
Like, this seems appropriate for Bryn.
You're spot on. You have it. Oh man, you guys, we're gonna have so much fun in Valkyries, in case you can't tell from this.
Bringing it down. Okay.
Nope.
Be serious.
For K. For what? It's gonna be great. So guys, this will come out sometime. We're recording this at the beginning of May. You're gonna see it sometime between May and June. End of June. I don't know, because we are aiming for a summer release for this Valkyries anthology. So you will get to tune in and see all these amazing authors along the way. And then it will culminate in reading their amazing stories. So Ask questions, send us notes. We'll have the links where you can find Melissa in the space below that exists on the YouTubes. I don't know. Send us questions. Let us know what you're excited about for Valkyries. And one more time, this has been Valkyrie's interview with Melissa Olthoff.